in traffic, in long queues and all of that, getting to work, and sometimes we're already tired and all of that before we get there. So this morning we're trying to have this conversation so that we can see how we can manage all of these things. So if you're already tired, if you're annoyed or frustrated and the day hasn't fully started for you, this conversation is for you, because every single day thousands of Ghanaians wake up early, they stand in long queues, they squeeze into overcrowded buses, argue over fares, sit in traffic, and somehow still be expected to perform at work, in school or on the road. But here's the thing, this stress doesn't just end when you arrive. It actually follows you into the office, into the classroom, and sometimes back home. And so today we're talking about commuter stress in Ghana, how it affects your mental well-being, your productivity and daily life, and more importantly, how we can cope better. And I'm joined by Stanislaus Nyaku. He is a mental health advocate, and he is here to have this conversation with me this morning. Stan, Charlie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, I'm good. How are you?
This is your voice, Charlie. Yeah, I'm well. How about you too?
I'm fine. Well, it's a new year, so happy new year to our cherished audience. It's my first time here this year.
That's true.
And yeah, we pray for glad tidings this year.
Absolutely. I haven't seen you too, so happy new year to you too.
Many happy returns.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into our conversation this morning. We're talking about commuter stress. What is it? Is it just a regular frustration we face, or there's something deeper to that?
Okay, so coming from a Ghanaian's perspective, so this is something we all grew up seeing, and for some funny reason we still see it. Okay, so going deeper, commuter stress, as stress has been added to it, brings it into the mental health field.
Right.
So by a general overview, we would say commuter stress is a chronic, low-grade stress caused by repeated exposure to situations where a person feels overwhelmed, rushed, unsafe, or powerless. So basically, the situation the person is in, the person really doesn't have much to say. It keeps recurring, and the person would have to just live with it. So that's basically what commuter stress is. And as it applies to the Ghanaian setting, it comes in so many ways. In Ghana specifically, most of it will come from the trotro rides, because that is our most common means of transportation. In other settings as well, their commuter stress comes from train rides and airplanes and all those things. So basically, it is that situation where you need to journey from one point to another, and then there is this overwhelming, powerless vibe that comes with it. Yeah.
So is it? At what point does it become stress?
Okay.
Because I know that, we all face the thing on a daily basis and all of that. Is it because it's repeated? At what point does it become, now you know that this one, Charlie, this thing is stressing me?
Okay. So just to put the terminologies in context, right? So psychologically, we are talking stress. We are talking about a response to a situation.
Okay.
So the stress is the situation we are seeing as a result of a stressor. So the stressor is what actually causes the stress.
Okay.
So your cognitive, your physiological, your environmental response to that which is stressing you is what becomes the stress. So now let's stay on the stress. The situation now is commuter stress. That the cars and the conditions in which the cars are, the way they are transferring people from one point to another becomes that which is causing the people to react to them.
Right.
So now, let's say a car is supposed to move me from Accra to Medina in 30 minutes. And now I am in this car, as after 30 minutes, I'm at 37. It means I have to wait another 30 minutes to get to Medina. So now I'm thinking, I'm losing time. I'm missing out on appointments, and so on and so forth. So at this point, your brain stress response begins to enters the picture, and it tells you, you know what? That's what the panic vibe begins to set in. Hey, so if you're a student and you have an IE around that same time, that's when you begin to realize, hey.
When you mentioned IE, I just remember something. So those of you who don't know, IE is interim assessment. If you went to University of Ghana, then I'm sure you know what IE is. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
so you're in your IE season. So when it becomes stress, So 30 minutes gone, 7:50 City Campus is starting exams, and it's 7:30. You have assumed, you've estimated that by 7:30 you should be on campus. Now 7:30, you are around 37 thereabouts. Now the heat is boiling. That is the stress response.
Right.
So that is where you are entering the stressful state. That is when your body is knowing that, okay, now we are beyond the normal. We are now entering the state. Now, what stress does is that it keeps us on edge.
Okay.
So stress, that is like basically is for survival instincts. So it wants to put you in a state where you can either run or fight, like the fight or flight movement.
Right.
Yeah. So in this case, using the IA scenario, you are on edge. It will get to a point you even wonder, mate, can I alight and run to school if there's traffic situation in town, or can I alight and get a motorbike
or something?
So right. So you realize that you are not thinking the way you were some 30 minutes ago. You are now in a different state. Your mental processes have, and like they've heightened, your heart rate is increasing and all those things. So that is when you realize that you are in a stressful situation, and then the stress is setting in because of this commuter wahala that we are facing here.
And you give a very beautiful example, and I mean, I know those who are students can relate to that. Let's try and see if we can also give an example for a typical young person or somebody going to work on a daily.
So let's say a corporate person, typical corporate person. Exactly. Okay, cool. So I have this friend who was very particular about arriving on time because of queries and other things that the corporate world deals with. So on a normal day, she would want to be up by a certain time. And then she likes to plan her life as well. So between the hours of maybe 5:50, she should be in a car. Latest by 6:30, she should be at a certain point. And then by 6:50, she should be at work. Now, when it turns and then it happens that she has missed maybe the first bus around the same schedules that she has set, she gets so anxious because what if HR comes? What if HR gives me a query? What if I am referred? What if this and this and this and this that happens in the corporate world also sets in? So immediately the first car leaves, the person is already in that state because the first bus is gone. It means I can't hit work at 6:50. That means I'm gonna have to go maybe after 7. And after 7 means queries and then other things that are going to come my way. Then again, the other side is some people have a funny vibe when it comes to sweating before work. And sometimes when you delay in traffic, that is when the sweat and everything comes. Now the person goes to work and the person is feeling a certain way.
Right.
The person is feeling sweaty and all those things because of the traffic situation and because of their lateness. So now the person gets to work and the person is feeling a shadow of his or herself. And so that also complicates matters in that angle as well. And all of this is not necessarily their fault. It is just the car situation in town. Yeah.
The way our transport system has been designed. You know, I want us to mention some of the basic things that we see. I know queues are one of them.
Yeah.
The long queues. Some people have to be in queues, especially if they're coming from La Paz. I hear the La Paz situation is crazy. I haven't been there in the morning, but people tell me that it's a very serious one. You be in a queue before it gets to your turn, and then you jump on the bus, and somebody wants to alight. You also have to come down and climb and come down and climb. All of these things, please, if you are listening to us this morning and you have experience, feel free to share with me. 0544321019, 0544321019, or you can call us on that same number, or you can call us on 03039566641, 03039566641. We're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and on YouTube at Z Multimedia. Please drop a comment there, and I'll give you the opportunity. I'll read your comments for you. All right, so let's continue the conversation. So what are some of the other things? Apart from the queue and the fact that you have to alight, somebody who's alighting, you have to, jump on the bus again and all of that.
Yeah. I like that we are getting here because sometimes when we talk commuter stress, we focus just on the queues and then maybe the traffic situation in town. But I want to say it goes beyond that. So we look at the state of our roads.
Okay.
Yeah, that has a factor. That has a role to play, significant role to play. Because when you look at most of our roads, so I'll use my area for example. So I come from the Boche area, the main road. It used to be a very beautiful road some 3-4 years ago. And before it was beautiful, it was not the best. So I saw was it that thing they do on social media, like community people engaging government, advocacy, serious advocacy posts and everything on social media. The MPs should do something, the assemblymen and it was fixed.
Right.
And the traffic situation went down beautifully. It was very beautiful. It was very peaceful. So I remember coming back from City Campus on the new road. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. Then the rains came, and then the situation worsened. Now I'm coming back from the same school, coming back on the same route. And instead of coming home in 1 hour 30 minutes, I was doing 2 hours 30 minutes. I remember one time I nearly cried in the car. I promise. I nearly cried.
Why?
It was very... I was coming from Accra, go to 37. It was packed. That was around the normal time, the rush hour, from 5 to 7 that time. So I managed to escape all the traffic situation from Accra through 37, and I get to the Butchie stretch, and I have to endure another traffic. That was very unbearable. So the state of our roads also contributes to this commuter stress. The next one would be the state of our cars, our transport, the cars that we commute in. So a brother was sharing with me in the week that anytime he bought a car, he prefers the front seat. If he doesn't get a front seat, it means it's going to be hell for him, because he's quite tall, and then exactly.
I experienced that.
Yeah, of course, you're very tall as well. So he says when he alights, he feels like blood has stopped flowing into his legs.
Yeah.
So he has to gather himself for a bit, stamp his feet, and then circulation resumes. And it's very biological. It's scientific. When you hang your leg in a certain way, it restricts the flow of blood. So that is very, very okay as well. So all these things enter the picture of commuter stress. So we are looking at the traffic situation in town. We are looking at the queues. We are looking at the buses. And then if you school the Aquinas people who may be listening, they know the story, the old Toms. They know when you get to 37 and you pick the Osu car too, you would think we are in the 90s. That car is one of its kind. And you should see the driver changing the gears. There are moments we would have to alight for the bus, the driver to raise his seat and then do some skirmishes before the bus starts. He puts the seat back, sits down, and then he starts the car.
So what happened to roadworthy?
Okay, so that is a very beautiful
conversation. But that's a
conversation
for another day. Because some of the cars that are on our streets are actually, they are crazy. They are crazy. Yeah. But anyway, so how does it show? How does the stress show in our mood, in our productivity, and all of that? How does it affect us?
Okay, so we all know that as biological beings, we are tired by night and day. So the assumption is that we rest at night and then we are refreshed for the day. But because of this stress that comes early in the morning most of the time, you realize that I have rested all right, I'm ready for the day, but now the role plays I'm having, the exchanges between maybe the mates, the driver, jumping to get into a car, the road, the bumpiness and all those things, mind will be traveling here and there. Why is this happening to me, the 21st century, and all those thoughts that flood your mind. Eventually, when you get to your place of work or school, there is this anger, this transient anger that is in you. So if you don't find the time to sit down and put yourself in check, your first words may be disrespectful to people. And then somebody may try joking with you, and because of what you have gone through, you would react in a certain way. So when you start feeling that irritability very early in the morning, you just get to your place of work, you are very pained, you are angered, you are not able to reciprocate basic emotions. How are you? You can't even respond to how are you, good morning, because you are pissed within. That is when we realize that this is becoming problematic. And sometimes it's unknown to us. We just enter the space and then our mood would, because of what we have endured through the ups and downs, and then we end up making people feel bad unknowingly. So when we realize that we are not responding or reacting the way we normally do on a typical day, then we know that the chronic stress or the stress that we are talking about is creeping into our day. And then we are also spilling it over to wherever we get to. So that is some of the ways we can find. Sometimes there are some headaches that will journey with you from the bus into the workplace. And when that is happening, you know that there's something off here.
Right. So how does it also affect our productivity? But I think that is very revealing, because I mean, there are people that they don't know. maybe that is why when you go to the office, you talk to people anyhow in the morning and all of that. You've not paid attention to it, but this could be the reason. Commuter stress could be the reason. How about productivity?
So productivity, there are people who have rituals, like personal rituals.
Yeah.
When I get to work or when I'm going to work, I need to be in a certain space. I need to gather myself together. I need to meditate for this amount of time without distraction. So when these routines are tampered with and the person gets into the workspace, the person becomes a shadow of himself or herself. Again, our personalities also have a big role to play.
Yeah.
We have people who are high performers. We have people who are high achievers. We have people who are low on self-esteem. And there are people who are very expressive when it comes to self-esteem and all those things. So I pride myself that I have high self-esteem. I don't know if there's anything like high self-esteem. So no matter what happens in the environment may not trigger me that much.
Right.
So I can enter a space after sitting in traffic for like 4 hours and still come and be smiling with everybody around. It may not be the same for a person with low self-esteem.
Right.
So for example, I have a presentation to do. As a person with low self-esteem, I have a presentation to do. I've been rehearsing this presentation for a specific time. And then I get there and then it's over. But I'm given a chance to come and present. Now, all the energy I had in me has gone. Why? Because of the situation, the traffic situation in town. So I can't perform to that level. The other people who would enter the workspace and they are sad. So when you're sad, what happens to you is that cognitively you are a bit shut down. You need to open up with some positive energies. Your body reacts to your mood a lot. So if you are happy, your brain is excited.
Okay.
So when you are sad, obviously your brain is going to fold.
Right.
Now when your brain is folding, it means that the expressive nature is going to be hidden. So this commuter stress and the traffic situation and all that encompasses it has the tendency of tampering with the way people begin their day. And there are some people, if they don't start well, they don't end well.
Right.
Yeah. So if you are in that class, you would want to, self-awareness is very good. You want to know that this is the kind of person I am, and if I don't start my day well, that is how it goes. So somebody who is listening may be wondering, why is it that on days that I get my routine right, I'm able to be productive, but on days that I'm not able to start right because of one or two tampering here and there, I am less productive. This may be some of the reasons why. Because you have a schedule, you have a routine, and when it doesn't flow, there is a situation, there's a problem for you. Yeah, so that is also.
I see. So what are the emotional responses that people actually, I mean, what emotional response do you commonly see in people who are stressed out of the commute? You mentioned anger, you mentioned sadness,
irritability. Yes.
What are some of the other ones?
So aside the anger and the irritability, another emotional, so the tantrums bit is also there.
What was that?
Throwing tantrums, unnecessary tantrums, like unnecessary outbursts. Yeah, out of the anger, some of the spillover effects are unnecessary outbursts. How are you? Oh, come on for that. How are you? Since when you start asking me how am I? It's really, really not necessary. So because you've been taken off normalcy, you are trying to just say something and keep going. You are so pissed, and then it doesn't help well. Again, emotionally or physiologically, because you are triggered, the area of your brain responsible for processing your emotions is activated. So again, the person may be acting in that way unknown to the person that it is not the person's fault. It's not really the person's fault, because your heart rate increases when the stress sets in. So your heart rate is increased, your it's like the fight or flight is activated in you. And so whatever comes with fight or flight is what you are dealing with immediately. So you are not able to calm yourself the way you would want to do that. And because you are not calm, you're able to say all manner of things to people. Again, people would want to engage some substances to maintain some composure in those situations as well. Now, the problem with that is when you are taking substances to cope with chronic stressors, it means that you are going to have to do that a long time, because these chronic stressors don't leave you anytime soon. So you may go to work and then you find someone comes to work and the person is not looking themselves, the person is not acting right, the person is having something we call fuse in our local balances, or blowy fuse, because of some drugs, that some alcohol that the person might have taken just to cope with or balance their emotional behaviors and all those things. So with the emotional aspect, it is very daunting on the people, and the emotions can spread across, and sometimes it's not expressed. So we have the ones who actually internalize it, right? So the more you internalize, the more because you've bottled up a lot things that it's not supposed to trigger you, you are going to be blowing it out of proportion, and so on and so forth.
I see. Right. Okay. Let me read some of the messages that have come through. We're going to talk about the solutions, how you can actually cope. So we'll look at coping strategies very soon. But let me just look at some of the messages that have come through this morning. This one says that this is from Kojo from Medina. Let me read the message. Okay. Right. It says that, good morning. This topic is very important. I wake up at 4:30 a.m. every day just to beat traffic. But by the time I get to work, I'm already tired and irritated. The stress is real. Okay. Thank you very much, Kojo, for sending your message. Kojo Center from Medina. Also, this one is AC from Dansoma. It says that, please, this conversation is touching home. Sometimes a queue alone can make your whole day, can make your whole mood bad for the day. Okay, right. And by the time I reach the office, I don't even want to talk to anyone. So what you were talking about, exactly. So somebody has actually experienced same. AC. All right, thank you very much for sending your message, AC. And this one says, I'm a student and the overcrowding alone is stressful. You stand for long distances and still have lectures to concentrate on. It affects learning more than people think. Does it affect learning?
It does, because there is a funny relationship between the stress hormone and attention.
Okay.
So our stress hormone is cortisol. When cortisol is released, it's released to help you cope with stress. But as you are on edge and you are trying to cope with the stress, the area of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, the part that is responsible for learning and attention, is also, it reacts with cortisol. So you are told that there are neurocorticoid receptors that are produced where you focus. And now these neurocorticoid receptors are needed to pay attention and think and solve problems.
Right.
But they have a fight. They fight with the cortisol receptors as well. So there's a fight between your stress hormones and then your focus hormones. And so, your focus receptors, sorry.
Right.
So as that fight happens, some of the focus receptors are depleted. So when your focus receptors are depleted, it means that you are going to have a struggle learning and focusing. So it is very true that you would get to school and because of the stress you've gone through, you will hardly focus. So the way to bring that back is just to put yourself together, take some deep breaths. What happens is that when you begin to take the deep breath, it blocks the supply of the cortisol.
Right.
Yeah. So instead of your body being on edge, it relaxes now. So you're able to put yourself into a little shape. Now, when the cortisol is not producing like it was when you were in the bus, now your focus receptors can also come out and function the way they are. So that is a very, very, very biologically correct phenomenon that is happening to the student who has committed.
Yes, that is Yao. Yeah. Right. Okay, thank you very much for sending your message. Very interesting thing. This one says, Akosia from Adenta says, a good topic. I didn't even know what I was experiencing had a name. I always thought I was just angry for no reason, but it's a daily commute stress. Yeah, so it's true. It has a name, Akosia. And then Michael from Tema says that the fare changes alone can spoil your morning. I think that's also a very important thing.
Very important. So back at Aquinas again, there was a time we were having this issue. So we line up in queues, and then so we normally go with a school junction car, and then just close to us is the Tema car. So I think school junction was around 70, 50 pesos then. And there was this Tema driver who came and said he's going to load, but for 10 cedis. So wherever you are going is 10 cedis. And so if you don't want, just alight. And then the boys were like, no, this is extortion.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to alight at maybe Spanner or even the mall, I can't be paying 10 cedis when you're going all the way to junction. And the guy was like, fine. True. If you're not going to board, just get down. And of course, because it's rush hour situation, people would have to board. So yeah, the fares are Because they know there is demand, and then you are stranded. Some of the drivers will just take advantage, and then so you don't know. You may be budgeting for 30 cedis a day. You do your first initial budget, and if you go with the same amount in the evening, you might not get home. Yeah.
Well, so actually, the Michael continues with that. It says that you budget one amount and then suddenly it's different. It creates tension before the day even starts. But I think this fair thing. I mean, we've seen GPRTU and Transport Ministry and all of that talk about some of these things, and I've seen that some drivers have been arrested for consistently last week and all of that. So I think we have to do something about it. I don't think that the arrest is enough. I think that we need to actually put in place certain things to make sure that this is sustained over a long period. Because for how long will we continue to arrest people, and what exactly are the charges and all of that? These are things that we have to talk about. This one says, I like what the guest is saying about resetting after the journey. I think when you were talking about getting yourself back, I noticed I take road stress into the house, and it's not fair to my family. I think all the conversations have been focused on the workplace. We've not looked at their family
as well.
What do you have to say about that?
So again, that is still in the spillover. That's still in the spillover because we were focused on commuter. I think we were looking at the corporate world and then the schooling as well. So home is also very, very important because the energy you bring to the house, obviously, like we say, the exchanges you have with your drivers, the traffic, the road situation, the bumps here and there. One important thing is the mind also travels. I was talking to a friend who was telling me that he gets so sad sometimes when he's in a queue. He gets so sad.
Why?
And I was asking him, why do you get so sad? Is it because you are not getting a car or you don't have a car? He looks at me and says, both of them. So we're getting home. Getting home is not exempted from the equation.
Right.
There are some kids who are so affectionate. Their parents are coming home and they run. Daddy, they come and give you a hug. But when you have some of these exchanges and, of course, your body's on edge, your heart has released stuff, you are not processing things right. You get home and somebody's coming to hug you and then can just, saw her or just excuse me and like just dodging them and all those things. Your wife may give you a nice, my husband, you are welcome because of what you are going through. And some of these things are unknown to the people who are going through it because they are they are on edge. So when the stress response kicks in, like I was saying, there is the part of your nervous system called the autonomic nervous system. When it kicks in and adrenaline and cortisol is produced, you need to calm down. You need to relax before you can go back to your normal self. So in that state, everything you are doing, you are not entirely in control of yourself. But of course, you can't explain that to a typical Ghanaian. We will tell you we greeted you and you were mean to us. So sometimes we carry the spillover effect does not manifest only at the workplace. It also manifests at home. You get home and are so angry. Some people will say they are not going to eat. Why? Because of an exchange between you and the driver, and they are begging you, and no, you are not going to. Of course, the temperament and the personality also has roles to play in there. So, if you're a very quick-tempered person, I'm begging you, please, just so family can be exempted from commuter stress, please try your best. When you come out of the vehicle on that stormy day, just take your time, take a deep breath, reset before you enter the home, so that innocent family will not also suffer from.
Will not suffer.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Exactly 20 minutes to the top of the hour. This is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nietzsche Hammond. And this morning we're talking about commuter stress and how to deal with that. A lot of us go through these things all the time, but we don't know what exactly it is. Today we are trying to spotlight it so that you can get to know how to navigate it. But I want to hear from you. Tell us about your own experience commuting and all of that. Do you go and stand in long queues? Do you spend a lot of time in traffic? How does that frustrate you? How do you feel sometimes when you go through all of these things? Tell us right here. If you can send me a text, I'll be very, very glad. 0544-321019. 0544-321019. Send me a text on WhatsApp. 0544-321019. You can also call me on the same number, and then I give you the opportunity to share your thoughts with us this morning. You can also call us on 030395661, 030395661, and then we give you the opportunity to share your thoughts as well. We're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and on YouTube at Z Multimedia. please drop a comment there and I'll read them for you. Well, my guest this morning is Stanislaus Nyako. He is a mental health advocate and he's making a lot of sense right here on the show. Stan, let's continue the conversation. So let's talk about the coping strategy. What are some simple, realistic strategies that everybody can actually use while maybe waiting or in traffic?
Okay, yeah. So this is a good one, and I just hope people will not come for me. People will not come for me. This is not me. This is science proven. Right. Yeah. So just take it easy.
Okay.
So in research methods back in school, there's something we learned. If you are dealing with extraneous variables, right? So these are variables that will come and interfere with the findings you are looking for. So one way to deal with it is to build it. You can add it to the research. So you can add it to the research. So the first suggestion I'll make is that build commuter stress into your day. Okay, so I'm saying that. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is that if you have come to know that instead of using 30 minutes to get to work, I now use 2 hours, factor it into your day. So when you're planning your day, plan 2 hours for work. Now, what does that do for you? It gives you 2 extra hours to do other things you can do. So let's say normally I'll do 30 minutes of transport. Like I'll do 30 minutes getting to work. When I get to work, I start with some morning devotion. I start with some meditation. I listen to some music. I listen to a sermon and all those things. Now use the 2 hours that commuter stress has brought your way, or the 2 hours you get can't see commuter stress to do those things. So you can listen to a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, you can listen to a podcast. You can listen to an album. You can listen to an audiobook.
Okay.
You can read a Bible. You can listen to the Bible if you're a Christian. You can listen to a Quran if you're a Christian. So when you are
Muslim,
if you're a Muslim, sorry, if you're a Muslim, yeah. So yeah, you can listen to any religious book. You can learn something because you realize that.
But standing in traffic, how can I be standing
in a queue?
How can I be laying? Or you can
be listening. You can be listening. Yeah. So there are so many audiobooks around, and I don't know how many Ghanaians have a reading habit. We are looking at ways to beat this. Now, one thing that we advocate for as mental health people is that we get the fact that these things are not supposed to be happening. If we're in a real world, in an ideal world situation, we can just lift them away. But we're in a real world. We cannot construct. We can't reconstruct all the routes in like 2 months. If it was possible, we would have tried it.
Yeah.
But we know that it will change eventually.
Yeah.
But it hasn't changed yet. So we need to live with it for a time.
Exactly.
And so what we advocate for is how can we successfully live with what we are dealing with so that it causes us less stress.
Right.
And these are some of the ways we can do it. Building the hours that the stress is bringing into our day. So that'll be the first one.
So let's stay on that for a few minutes. So podcasts, music, listening to Bible or whatever.
Yeah.
How does that reduce the stress?
Good question. So again, I'll go back to brain chemistry. We have the stress hormones firing when you are approaching stress. And when they are firing, they fire all around. Your heart rate is increasing, your everything, you're on edge. Now, when you begin to read a book, you begin to meditate, what happens to you is that you are taking your mind off the stress, you are focusing on something else. So it gives you a diversion. Excuse me. It gives you a diversion. You divert attention from the stress or the stressor to something different.
Okay.
And now, whatever it is you are doing, so long as you are paying attention to it, if you are liking it, then the positive hormones will be released. The positive brain chemicals will be released.
Right.
For example, you're listening to a very beautiful music. Maybe I'll sing a gospel song. What a beautiful name it is. And you're happy. Oh, this is Jesus they're talking about. And at times you are just carried away with a vibe.
Yeah.
So you realize that everybody else is, everybody's angry in the queue and all, but you have a smile on your face. You are calm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So those things calm you down. Again, I'm just looking in the air. It will make me angry. Why am I still here? I start thinking about a lot of things. But if I am doing something, I'm listening to this vampire comic. Okay, so this guy has entered a room. What is he going to do next? I am activated. I'm triggered.
Right.
I'm happy about what I'm doing. So the more you keep yourself in that situation, the more you are going to have some peace.
Okay.
As opposed to the second person by you who is probably speaking some local language, insulting everybody, the government, the drivers, the roads, and everything. So that person is triggered and on edge and is acting out the anger and then the irritability and everything. But you are not. Rather, you are making productive use of that time.
Right.
Yeah. So if it is presentation, okay, I have to go to school today. I have to do this assignment. I think I've done something. Can I go through on your phone? You're just scrolling through, reading one or two things. You're just distracting yourself. The more you distract yourself, the more cortisol will not produce and come and affect your functioning.
Right.
So that is what it does for you.
So basically, you are trying to just shift your attention from what is happening around you to something better.
Exactly.
I mean, that can help you.
Yeah.
And you can use podcast, you can use Bible, audio book, or anything that you're interested in. Some people even watch movies. Is that also allowed?
Yeah. So long safety also is available. If you're in a safe space, and then you can watch a movie. Yes, people do that. Even in the trotro, people watch movies. Just to, and then the social media, the TikTokers can be.
But isn't that that stressful as well? The social media. I mean, just mindlessly scrolling.
Scrolling. Okay. So now what would you bargain for? What would you it's a bargain. What would you rather go for? Me sitting down and then being in a depressed state, a sad state, thinking about killing somebody or getting somebody hurt. And then I'm finding this funny comments, funny TikTok videos, and then I'm just watching. So yeah, social media can distract you for that period. As it's still the same distraction we are talking about, displacing. Yeah, you are moving from one state to another. So in those moments, anything that gets you going, the goal is to get you calm, less overwhelmed, get you in a state that when you get to work, you can work. I think I've met people who are like maybe commuting from one place to another, and then they realize that I have to give a presentation or give a talk or take some do some business transactions. But in the bus, it's boring. Everybody's bored. So you see this person actively on the phone, watching the TikToks and everything. Immediately they are light. Everything switches back to serious mode. They go back. I've seen somebody do that. I think he was collecting money or something. He just alighted and he just switched back to his professional mode. And he did a very beautiful transaction. I was very impressed with that. So it is just displacing. The bargain is I don't want to be on edge. I don't want to be in my sympathetic nervous system. I want to be calm and collected to be able to start the day. And these are some of the things that can get you calm and collected to start your day. So yeah, do anything you like in that process, and then you'll be fine. You'll be fine to go. So this would mean you need maybe extra power bank,
right? Just
for that hassle as well.
Okay, so we've talked about that. Are there other coping strategies? But I have a message here. Okay. Maybe I'll read that later. Just finish.
So the other coping strategy is breathing.
Okay.
Breathing. So there's the 4-7-8 technique.
What is that?
So the 4-7-8 means you're going to inhale 4 times. So you take 4 seconds to inhale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you inhale. Then you hold for 8 seconds. And then you release for 7 seconds. Oh, I think I've switched it. 4, 7, 8. So you take a deep breath. You take 4 solid gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you hold it in for 7 seconds. Then you release for 8 seconds.
Okay.
You do this continuously. You do this
in a car.
Whether in a car or in a queue. If you realize you are getting triggered, when you are getting triggered, immediately you notice you are getting triggered. How do you know you are getting triggered? Your heart rate begins to change. You begin to sense your heart racing.
Right.
Yeah. So you begin to just calm yourself down. Calm yourself. That's the breathing technique. The last one I'll mention is reframing. So reframing has to do with it's a cognitive lie you tell yourself. Okay, fine. It's not necessarily a lie. It's just taking yourself out of the stressful situation. It's just like a distraction, but a good one. So, for example, I'm in a queue right now doing nothing productive with my life. I can reframe and say, you know what? I have to get home, but before I get home, I'll need a car. And for me to get into a car, the car would have to arrive at the station. And so now I'm waiting for the car to arrive at the station.
Yeah.
No stress. Okay, so obviously the situation is still it's the same situation, but you are telling yourself a different story concerning the same situation. Okay. So you are reframing your reality.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, this traffic situation is very tiring. Everybody in the car is angry. Driver, can you speed up a bit? And then you go like, well, the last time I watched Need for Speed, there was a traffic situation and there was a bypass. And then they were speeding back and forth. And what happened? One car fell into a ditch. so well, driver, let's just continue on this. You're having a conversation with yourself.
With yourself.
Yeah. So it's like you have taken a mental leap. You've jumped into another reality, another existence, and you've reframed the reality. Because before God and man, there is nothing you can do about the situation. You can only get angry and angry and angry. And that is not healthy. So why won't I just why don't I distract myself a bit? Let me just take a mental leap. This situation would Nanado used to say something, our former president used to say something during the COVID pandemic. He used to say, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
Whenever he gives the State of the Nation, the fellow Ghanaians address, he ends with, this too shall pass, right? Yeah. So in the same logic, I'm just borrowing his words for all of us listening out there. When you stand there, know that this will pass. And one thing I want to bring everybody's attention to is the fact that nobody has stayed at the station to the next day yet. Okay, I've not heard that story yet. All my colleagues who go and have the struggle, they eventually end up home. So you know that no matter what happens, I'll get home. It may be tiring, it may be stressful, but I'm going to get home. So if there's something about problem solving. We analyze best case and worst case. So what's the worst case scenario? I am in a queue. The worst case is that I won't get home.
Really?
But it hasn't gotten there ever. So it means I'll get home eventually. So let me think of that and be happy with that. Right. Eventually I'm going to get home, and it's going to help you a lot to keep you calm in those situations as well.
So three things. First of all, you have to distract yourself with either podcast, audiobook, music, anything at all that can keep you distracted and shift the attention. Yeah, sometimes when you distract yourself, by the time you come back, hey, we've made this
progress.
This progress. And then you come back to. So I think it's also a very good thing. Okay. And then framing, right? Reframing. Yeah. Okay, so you try to and lie to yourself a bit, or maybe give yourself some hope that you're gonna arrive. And you can say, well, maybe all things are working together for my good. I think that's a good example.
That's a good example
right?
too. Yeah.
So you just continue like that. What's the second one? I think
the breathing one.
Deep breathing. Yeah.
So how you call it? 4-7-8 technique.
4-7 technique.
You breathe in 4 times. You hold it for 7 times, and then you exhale 8 seconds. Yeah.
Right, and that should do something to your brain. Okay, right. So
just to add a little. Right. So one other thing is humor. There's some bull joke about everything. Yeah, like myself. Yeah, some bull joke about everything. It helps a lot. Because say you're in a stressful situation, and then you are there with your colleague, see the students. You can start having funny jokes about the situation. Hey, see my queue. It's looking like a snake. Another person's is just like a broomstick.
Right.
Everybody's laughing. That's the student side. And even our parents, there are some funny things they normally say in queues and all those things. You would want to keep an ear out just to have a good laugh in those situations. Right. Because when you are triggered and the laughter is coming, your brain cannot lie. Even if you are faking it, it gets the same stimulation as the real laugh. That's your brain for you. So yeah. So humor is also a very important technique that we can deploy.
Okay, let me read a few of the messages and then we can wrap up. Our time is up. But I hope this conversation has helped you a great deal, because we've spoken about a lot of things, and you can now manage your commuter stress a bit better. All right, so this one is from Linda in Achimos. I said, I like what the guest is saying about, okay, I think I read that one already. This one says, honestly, Ghana traffic can humble you. Sammy from Seco says that I've started listening to music and podcasts on the road, and it helps small. Yeah. So I think that is exactly what Stan said. Also, Patience from Spinte says that this discussion should continue. Mental health is not only about big problems. Daily stress like commuting also matters. Thank you very much, Patience, for sending this one. And this is from Kweku. Kweku, you didn't add your location. It says that employers really need to understand this issue. Flexible work hours can reduce stress for many workers. What role can employers play? Very important question, and then we can go.
So he mentioned flexible
working hours.
Yes. That is very, very important. I think it was in this studio I mentioned that there are some countries who allow mental health days, but I don't think that is something that we can start in Ghana. They tell you can call in and say, today I don't feel too good, I feel down, so I'm not able to work, and they would agree. I don't think we can try that here yet. Exactly. I don't want to be too pessimistic.
Right.
I'll just use yet for now. Maybe with mental health on the rise, slowly. Yeah, maybe Nidrevi can say, hello, boss, today. Exactly.
I don't have the right frame of mind.
Straight up, they'll say, you know what, just take 2 days off, just on the side. So I think our employer should also tone it down a bit and understand the situation. You see, there's something called self-awareness. we are in this together. If it is not going well for my employees, I should know. I should initiate some of these conversations. That, you know what, okay, we normally start work at maybe 8, but because of the traffic situation, if you are getting to work around 9 or 9:30, no queries, because we know the situation in town. Yeah, so that makes it a bit flexible. And then understanding lateness policies. We should also know that, of course, tying into the first example, have that conversation. Put one or two rules or regulations on paper. Relax some other regulations so that people know that, okay, my employer sees the reality on the ground, and then they are also involved. They want us to thrive, and so they are giving us ways and means that we can thrive. And then the employer should also make sure that the psychological safety of their clients are also taken care of. Okay, so this commuter stress thing that is happening, I don't know how many companies would have a sitting for their employees to say, you know what, let's have a discussion about commuter stress. How is it affecting you? How is it affecting you? How is it affecting you? These are things that have to be concerns of employers as well. They need to make sure that the people who are bringing the money into the company are also being valued and catered for. So these are some of the things they can do. Flexible work schedules, understanding and relaxing some of the lateness policies, and creating and being intentional about the mental health of workers as well.
All right. Okay. So maybe your final words to anybody listening to us. There's a message here. Let me just read that one before you. From Kweku. Kweku says that I'm Kweku from Buchi. I'm a student and I go through this every day. Sometimes I have to skip the least lecture to get home, and this doesn't help at all. One of my lecturers doesn't even know I'm part of his class. It says that, and the queues are 37 along with the traffic. I end up getting home heartbroken and tired. Sorry about that, Kweku. I hope that these things that we're speaking about today will help you to be able to navigate all the stress from commuting. All right, so Stan, maybe your final words. I want you to speak to commuters, give them some word, and then maybe you give us your final words.
So to our commuters, we know that the situation is here. We are all involved. This morning I was telling one of my bosses here that I also had my fair share of the commuter stress. I had to cancel rides severally before even making it to the studio. So this is something that we are going to live with for a bit, and we can also pray that the government hears our cry, and at least the best we want from them is to just put our roads in good shape. So even as we wait for that, let's just bear with one another. We are in this together, and we just need to have some of these destructive strategies to beat it. And then, of course, we can also take some of our schedules into this time that we have. So if 30 minutes has become 2 hours for you, you'd want to look at your schedules again and see, what can I do? What productive thing can I do in the queue? And then we can begin to normalize some of those conversations. And if you're able to move some of your productive hours into the queues, you realize that you're not losing anything from it. And these are some of the conversations that people don't normally have and things they don't see. So that is one apport that we can give to beat all of this. So that is very, very important to us. To those in the traffic situations as well, of course, you will need to get maybe a power bank. You would want to keep a power bank just so you can implement some of the destructive tactics we have given to us, because it helps your mental health as well. So I think that would be the two things I would want to leave with we the commuters. And to my final words, there's one thing I missed out here. Some of these things can become chronic and become full-blown mental health cases.
Sure.
So we can have situations where you realize that from the little overwhelming that people feel in the course of the day or day to day. I think in the beginning I mentioned that the commuter stress is a low grade stress.
Yes.
So what low grade stress is that? It's not one that you would pay attention to immediately, but it stays with you for a long time.
Right.
And because it is going to stay with you for a long time, it may lead you to some mental health conditions, depression, anxiety, and all those things are a part. And so when you are getting to those areas, don't forget to seek help.
Okay.
Lastly, I'll leave you with my philosophy, right? I believe the mind is an asset that everybody has.
Right.
If you're able to tame your mind, you'll be able to tame your life.
Okay.
And so anything that helps you tame your mind, you should be jumping at it, so you can tame your life.
All right, Stan, thank you very much for coming. Really grateful that you came, and thanks for sharing your insights. Some messages on Facebook, let me just read them, and then I'm sure you know the people. It said, also Frederick, it says that, well done, Stan. I remember your chaplain is watching you. Yeah. And also this one is John Agbutru. It says a sea blue. Is that a nickname?
Yeah. That's the legendary name yet to be gazetted.
And this one also says that Daniel Yekple, it says a sea blue. We the short guys don't deserve the front seat. Your chaplain is watching. All right. So I'm sure when you're talking about the front seat and the tall people and all of that. And this one says, Ketchi Abba Wilson. It says that we are watching you, bro. And Ayeko Stan, watching from Suhum. That's Ben Samu. And then Emmanuel Jani, it says that we are with you, Stan. Charlie, you get fans, so, all right. Anyway, Stan, thank you very much for coming. Stanislas Nyaku is a mental health advocate, and he joined me this morning for this conversation on commuter stress. And as we wrap up this conversation, one thing is clear. It is the fact that the stress many of us feel on the road is not imaginary, and it's not something we should keep normalizing. Your daily commute is part of your life, and your mental well-being matters just as much as getting to your destination on time. So as you step out today, or as you step out day from time to time, let's try to be a little kinder to ourselves and to each other on the road, at the bus stop, in traffic, at the workplace. I mean, small pauses, some deep breaths, and also better reaction will help us a great deal. And to our guest, thank you very much for helping us look at commuting not just as a transport issue, but as a mental health conversation that we all need to have. And to you listening, whether you're in traffic, at work, or already home, take care of your mind as much as you take care of your hustle. Thank you very much for listening to us. We're back again tomorrow for the Friday edition of the Business Breakfast on Z. Until then, please take care of yourselves. And when you think Ghana, think Z. I'll see you tomorrow. My name is Nitra Biamont. Up next is The Brighter Side with Jeremy Okorie Amwako. See you.
In our quest to redefine modern living, Lakeside Estate proudly unveils a new wave of innovation and elegance. Introducing the all-new Starfish, our redesigned 3-bedroom home crafted for today's modern family. Step into a space where functionality meets finesse. The Starfish features spacious layouts, sleek contemporary finishes, and sits within one of Accra's most secure and master-planned communities. Enjoy more living space, a walk-in closet in the master bedroom, a modern fitted kitchen, and generous room sizes, all designed with your family's comfort in mind. Whether you're settling down or making a smart investment, the Starfish offers refined elegance, outstanding value, and long-term